From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the morning news. The state of Indiana just banned trans people from updating their gender markers on their driver's licenses. Advocate reports that the state's Bureau of Motor Vehicles added a small statement to its website on Monday saying that will no longer allow people to change their gender on state IDs even if they have a court order. The notice can be found by clicking through several web pages on the state's BMV website, Gender Change Rule Update. Effective February 12, 2026, the BMV will no longer provide customers with the option to change their gender on their Indiana credential by using a court-ordered gender change or physician statement per Amended Rule 140, Indiana Administrative Code, Section 7-1.1 through 3. Indiana has been rolling back transgender people's rights for the past few years. In 2014, trans people were allowed to update the gender marker on their birth certificates with a court order. In March 2025, Governor Mike Braun, a bigoted Republican, signed an executive order banning the practice. The ACLU sued to stop the executive order. In January 2020, the Indiana BMV stopped allowing people to choose an X gender marker on their driver's licenses after about a year of allowing it. Then Attorney General Curtis Hill said the BMV had overstepped its authority in allowing the non-binary gender markers and said that only the General Assembly has the power to decide if non-binary gender markers are allowed. In 2023, then Governor Eric Holcomb, a Republican, signed a ban on gender-affirming care for trans minors that also forced trans youth in the state to detransition if they were already receiving hormone therapy. Frankly, I think it would have been easier just to pack up and get the hell out of Indiana because it's a garbage state anyway, but I digress. Holcomb vetoed a transgender sports ban in 2022, but the state legislature overrode his veto that year. The state expanded the ban to include college sports in 2025. See, just like I said, bigoted as all holy hell. Transphobic bigots. The Movement Advancement Project says in only 3 states, Texas, Tennessee, and Florida, completely banned trans people from updating their gender markers on state IDs. Although I wouldn't put it past Texas, Tennessee, and Florida to do just that. Ban trans people from completely existing. Indiana Youth Group, an LGBTQ plus organization in the state, denounced the rule change. Denying people the ability to update the gender marker on their identification is not only discriminatory, it's dangerous. They said in a statement, in an increasingly hostile climate, mismatched identification can expose individuals to harassment, threats, and violence. It can also create serious barriers to employment, housing, and access to essential services. In 2020, a study from Drexel University found that transgender adults with gender-affirming IDs have better mental health than those whose IDs do not match their gender identity. The study examined data provided by 22,286 trans adults in the 2015 U.S. Transgender Survey and found that those with gender-affirming identification, such as passports and driver's licenses, were 32% less likely to be classified as seriously psychologically distressed. They were also 22% less likely to have seriously considered suicide within the last year, and 25% likely to have made a suicide plan within the last year. Having IDs that don't reflect how you see yourself and how you present yourself to the world can be upsetting, said lead researcher Aidan Shine. It can also potentially expose people to harassment, violence, and denial of service, just like in Indiana. Having accurate identification should be a fundamental human right. While many of us take it for granted, obtaining IDs can be very difficult for trans people. This is an area where tangible and relatively simple policy changes could aid public health. But far be it from Indiana to care about anybody in their state other than the hetero, cisgender bigots that rule the land. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org. The Trans Lifeline, 1-877-565-8860, is staffed by trans people and will not, repeat, not contact law enforcement. The Trevor Project provides a safe, judgment-free place to talk for youth via chat. Text 678-678 or phone 1-866-488-7386. Help is available at all three resources in both English and Spanish. That's the morning news for this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.